Hello, this is Elijah Ignatieff of Planetary Guardians. This is Media Team number 3, session number 2. And we have Lindsay, Matthew, and Daniil, and we are waiting for Michelle to arrive. And so why don't we start with a little bit of a check-in, say what's happening, and say, did anything happen regarding the map in terms of your own insights of your own patterns, or anything that happened to do with the values you chose? Do you want to start, Lindsay?
Sure. Actually, I didn't really, that's a really good question. Because we did this last week, and then I had, so my personal space, my connection was, or my value was connection with self. And then I also, I guess, had others, which upon further reflection, I thought was a little bit odd in my personal space. But yeah, I definitely, my whole week was me connecting with myself, and actually it's sort of ironic in like a way that I haven't in a really long time. And it's been probably the most growth in a short period of span that I've had, that's been like so positive and in the direction that I've really wanted to be able to go in a long time. So it's been pretty fucking amazing. I've been really happy. Yeah. I can't hear you.
You're on mute, Elijah.
Do you want to continue, Lindsay, or?
I can, if there's, Sacred Space is still not doing so good, but one-on-one space for awareness, actually, yeah, that was really cool. There was a conflict that was like resolved in with somebody that's been in my life. Actually, wow, okay, cool question. Lots of reflection. Yeah, it's been really amazing. Definitely lots of awareness in different situations in my one-on-one interactions, and they've improved, and it's been really beneficial in a lot of different ways. Community space, my value is stability. I think that one is nothing super significant has happened, but I am moving at the end of the month, so maybe that's something that's going to happen kind of later on so that I can have some stability. Group space was skill building, practical knowledge, and nothing significant has happened in that area yet. So personal space and one-on-one, massive improvement. It's been great.
Couldn't you see this as being a group space skill that you got? So you're learning, and you're
needing
telling
to improve on my awareness. Group space, yes. Skill building. Thumbs up. Yeah,
okay.
it's been
Thank
good.
you very much. That's great to hear. That's fantastic. And that's what you know, there's a magic to these maps that anyway, Matthew, how about you?
I've got it up on the wall here. So sacred space was volume. I definitely did turn it up. That went well. Very aware of that. Personal space, I had the value of devotion. It's going pretty good. It's one of my largest hurdles, and it's going good. In fact, I had a day off yesterday. I was supposed to work and didn't get called into it, and then I was supposed to do martial arts, and that one kind of moved to next week, so I got the whole afternoon to myself. It felt like a long time since I had that, so I got some devoted time. It worked. Presence in one-on-one space, I've been more aware of that than anything else, because it's just so needed. Even though I did a survey once and all my friends said that I was very, very, very present person in their lives, I vote myself low on presence, so I have high expectations. But I increased my presence because I was conscious of it because of the map. Group space was joy. Yeah, the next day, Tuesday morning, I was part of a large group on Zoom for business, and I noticed it was just fucking joyless. And I was like, oh, I'm totally being called in to like bring up the joy. So I did. I brought the joy pretty hard, and they all loved it.
What did you do?
Well, I actually just told them right away. I was like, hey, everybody, I just want to let you know that I was on a Zoom last night with some people, and I did like a values evaluation map, and I'm committed to bringing joy into group space. And because we're part of a group here, I'm just letting everybody know that I'm going to be captain of the joy for the next hour. And then just brought the energy.
And how did they take that?
Oh, they were like relieved, and it helped them open up to joy. If I hadn't have done it, no one would have let their guard down as much as they had. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then leadership in the community space, that one's pretty constantly growing, but I was aware of that one too. And it overall, I think it was a good assisting tool to my life, as my emotions and my psyche and my life, journeyed through the last 7 days. I had a map that I wouldn't have had otherwise, which gave me guidance at moments. So it was an asset. And then my girlfriend gave me $25 and I filled out her map and she likes it. And then I got my group of 4 tomorrow to get my
awesome
$100. Yeah.
Really?
So I get my month free with Elijah because I took his tool, and it's great.
I mean, isn't that good business?
Yeah, it's great business.
Gee,
$100 an hour. It's great.
throw me a bone.
Is this, how did your girlfriend react to you saying that'll be $25?
Well, I was pretty salesy about it. She's my girlfriend. I said, okay, Amanda, here's the thing. You're going to give me $25. I'm going to give you a tool. You're going to love it. Okay.
That's good. Awesome. Okay. Daniil?
Okay. I don't think I made any progress with several of these. So I had love in one-to-one, which I don't really think has changed. I had joy in community, which I don't think has made any progress in the last week. I had belonging in groups, and I did a little bit of thinking about that. I'm thinking mainly about where I should be living. And actually all of them kind of came together. So I had belonging in groups, purpose in personal, and contentment in sacred. And those things hang together to a significant degree. So I was thinking about purpose in my professional life. Why am I doing what I'm doing? What am I getting out of it? What are other people getting out of it? How strongly did I feel belonging to that group? So I started a new job just as COVID kicked off. So I started remotely and I hadn't spent any time physically in the presence of my colleagues since I started this job. So that the sense of belonging is lacking. There's definite connection with individuals, but I don't feel like I'm really getting into the purpose of the company and feeling aligned with it. And all of that is affecting my contentment or lack thereof.
Right.
So I'm thinking about, should I stay in New York? Should I go somewhere else? What other job might I do? Is it actually about the job or the location, or is it just how I think about it? That type of thought process. So I don't really feel like I made much progress. I didn't reach any, earth-shattering conclusions. And these were thoughts that I'd already been having. So it was just a continuation of the thought process.
So a further assessment of things.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what you can do is you can make a little shrine. You can choose like a symbol for each value, get an area in your house if you have it. And maybe, I've got these really nice maps for you now if you read through the email. At some point I was doing my pitch around the maps, but I'm very happy about what I've got for you. I think it's a breakthrough. I've been having breakthroughs left and right. I mean, I'm usually into a lot of breakthroughs. It's kind of constant, but I'm getting some big ones now, and it's because I'm teaching. It's because I had this INflow Matrix, but I didn't have the outflow matrix, and so it's kind of like a big dam of sort of frustration. Now it's kind of like, oh my God. So I'm liking that. Okay, so the assignment of the week was to do 7 lifetime goals. Did everyone do that?
Yep.
Excellent. Okay, so why don't we have a round of that and hear what everyone has to say. And Lindsay, do you want to start again?
Okay, I don't know if I really want to read mine, but I'll read some of them. And whenever I do stuff like this, or I'm like thinking about my life, like it's always the same goals. It's always been pretty consistent for quite a while. So, at least like my dreams or goals have always kind of been the same. If anything, they've just more or less like expanded. But the baseline of it is always pretty similar. So number one lifetime goal is have as many practical skills that I'm capable of being able to do. I made a list of those, which I can read out but don't need to. But it's just like basically encompasses learning as many things that I can that are useful in my life. Second goal is know myself as much as I possibly can. And that's really in relation to personal space and connecting with myself. Yeah, lots of masks for most of my life. And I think for the first time in my life, I'm actually beginning to function in a way where I have none, which is really amazing. And I also realized that I have like so many things to discover. It's going to be an awesome journey. Their lifetime goal is have deep, lifelong, intimate relationships with people, intimate relationships and connections that are stable and healthy, supportive, and full of love, strength, growth, and laughter. Fourth is have a scuba diver's license, a master scuba diver's license. And fifth lifelong goal is journey of being better and better at cooking. I really love to cook, and I would love, as I'm older, to have infinite amount of recipes and things that I know how to be able to cook from scratch. I love food. I just absolutely love to cook for other people. 6 is have a sailboat and be able to sail it. 7 is have a farm, acreage, community plot with a house I have built where people, where some of the most important people to me and my live together in harmony. And I added a number 8, find purpose and find meaning. And I also added a 9, lifelong journey of surfing. So,
you are overstepping your boundaries, young lady. We're very strict about how many lifetime goals you get.
So that was mine.
Wow, and I guess there are some hidden ones too that you don't want to say, but that's good too.
No, it's just expansions off of the ones that I had that I don't need to get into details.
Okay, fantastic. Matthew.
Well, I did the same thing. I have 8 here.
I feel good now because I've got 8 as well. I was struggling to keep 7.
Rebels, all of you.
So the first goal is lifetime goals. First goal here is become the richest man in the world.
I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to laugh. I like it. Mr. Burns.
I was talking about him today. It's so funny. How interesting. And it's interesting because I have next to it in here, and this is pretty important to me at a personal level. In brackets, it says working 6 days on, 6 days off. It's kind of setting my schedule in advance, 20 years in advance.
Nice.
So number 2, this is called Earn Triple Black Diamond in Univera. It's a business I'm part of. It's a rank that doesn't even exist yet. It's a global rank for sure. And number 3 is to own, design, and sell skyscrapers. In specific, the designing is what really catches me, but owning and selling is cool, and it fits goal number 1. Number 4 is to travel to at least 5 ancient ruins or landmarks on the planet, preferably 10 to 50, but 5 is like goal. That's like real ancient, 4,000 years old, like my heart falls out I cry for 5 days and just live there in a tent, you know, like totally surrendered to it, to its extremeness. 5, live in the tropics in a luxurious bamboo palace with my partner Amanda. And I want a mega yacht with a helicopter pad on the back. She wants an organic mango orchard and giant fruit forest. Number 6 is to be a part of a planetary concert of music, kind of like Live Aid or one of those Live 8s, you know, something of that proportion or bigger. And then number 7 is to help hundreds of millions of people to find personal, financial, and spiritual freedom. That really calls my nature. And then the cheater, it's not a cheating, but the rebel, number 8, is to build a performance school or academy for dancing, fire spinning, ultimately just life in general, you know, good philosophy, help probably young adults or adults unlearn, as some people say, some of the stuff they learned growing up and find that freedom within wisdom and then expression. That's my 8.
Awesome. I think it was, I don't know if I told you, but it's good to have at least one impossible goal. And I for myself, mine was to transform the world's economic system from fear to love. So I understand that when you aim big, you never know what can happen, right? Like if you're, why not? Okay, Daniil.
A lot of mine are tied to the values that I did in the first exercise, but I've got 8, so there's some extras. So the first one was to find a partner. Second one was to have children. Third one is a kind of all-encompassing gain contentment. Fourth was to find and establish links with communities, multiple ones in probably different locations around the world. Fifth was to find a satisfying professional role. I'm being quite, I started with job and I thought, well, no, I may end up with my own company. So I just used professional role to describe that more broadly. 6 was to have an increasingly positive effect on the world, particularly those around me. 7 was to fully relax. And 8 was to continue lifelong learning.
Awesome. So how does it, have you ever, you must have done something like this before, right? No?
You know, I don't think I usually have goals like this exactly. I have much more near-term goals that are more tangible and like, here's the action plan to achieve X. You know, something like gain contentment, it's a bit more challenging to do that with.
Okay. So, okay. How about you, Lindsay? You have you done lifetime goals before?
I've definitely do stuff like this constantly. I'm always writing down things that I want or like how I would like my life to look or like dreams and desires. And it's usually just like the same or like mild variations of very similar things. Yeah.
Okay. And Matthew, you've done a lot of goal work too, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what we're going to do, the next step is, I do, I mean, I'm a Mac guy. I get these. Can you see that? There you go. It's a time cone.
Yes, I see it now.
So you've got like a circle and a circle, and you draw 2 lines, and then you have so it's like the past is the old paradigm, the future is the new paradigm, and the present is right in the middle.
Okay.
Redraw this?
Yeah, draw that.
Okay.
I'm working with some really high tech here, Mr. Map Guy. Oh, look, I've gone orange. Jeez, Weezer.
Can you put that back up?
Oh, yeah. Well, here, let me just get a sec. I mean, I'm just tickled pink that you guys get results so quickly that I really feel that programming those 5 spaces is just a magnificent thing for anyone to do. So essentially, that's not the best one, but you're drawing that. And so this is the old paradigm, this is the new paradigm, and this is the present. And so, like when I say we're going to shift the world's economic system from fear, paradigm of fear to paradigm of love, it may sound crazy, but when you conceptually can actually map it out, and as simple as this may be, this is like the big picture. This is the big picture. And so in the past and the future, you stand with your attention in the present, and then you choose. So what we're doing is we're going to design the future, and that's what the INflow Matrix is. So right now, you can draw a circle like that, and then you've got the end game. So here, right here, in that circle are where your 7 lifetime goals go. That's the extent of your parameters for your design, right? That's where you're aiming. That's your end game, these things being there. And then this circle right here, that's the 5 communication spaces. So we're putting our third eye, I don't know, third eye can be many things, right? But I mean, if I'm saying it as a conceptual third eye, maybe it's a 4th eye, maybe a 5th eye. But it's sort of in the present moment right here. And this is kind of like you're seeing the future, and the past is behind you. And what you're doing is we're creating a design of where we're going. We're creating it in the noosphere first. Make sense? Okay, so next step is we're going to build a flow wheel, which is, there's 4 wheels: the choice wheel, the flow wheel, the synergy wheel, and the harmony wheel. The harmony wheel is the community, the synergy wheel is the organization, the flow wheel is the outer you, and the choice wheel is the inner you. So the INflow Matrix has 4 major wheels, 4 major distinctions, and this links into Ken Wilber's work. And I don't know if you've heard of spiral dynamics or the 4 quadrants, but you have the individual and the group, inside and outside. So you have the inner individual, the outer individual, the inner group, and the outer group. So those 4 quadrants are very different. Like the inside of you is very different from the knowledge that society has. So you can't use the same languaging. You have to take into account that your inner world is a worldview. Your inner world is your belief system. And what we're doing is in that inner world, we're kind of like in our own personal space, right? We're mapping out a cognitive structure or mind mapping system that is then going to be the reference point for the team and the reference point for the community. But you can program it, custom design it to something exactly that you want. But we have some universal models like the 5 communication spaces, which apply to all humans. So we're looking to get universal models that, again, are sort of like apply to all humans. So now get another piece of paper and draw a circle and draw an Enneagram. And does everyone remember what that is or know what that is?
I know what it is. I don't know how to draw one.
Okay, so draw a circle and put 9 points on it.
Oh, all of them. I thought when you said an Enneagram, I thought you meant just one. Okay, got it.
Okay, this is what you're going to draw. I'll put the numbers on. So the 3, 6, and 9 are the major triangle in the middle. and then you go 1, 4, 2, 8, 8, 5, 7. 1, 4, 2, 8, 5, 7. Now, Daniil, do you know about the Enneagram? Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah.
Matthew?
Yes, and please leave that up there. And yes, I don't know much about it though.
Okay. Okay, so if you divide any number by 7, you get 0.142857. 142,857. 142,857. So any number divided by 7 creates the same pattern where there's no 3, 6, or 9, which is the primary triad, and then 142,857. And so what Gurdjieff said was that this is universal law, where you have a triad, and that triad can come together in 6 ways. So if you have the Father, Son, the Holy Ghost, or you have Hindu, within the Hindu tradition, Shiva, Brahma, and Vishnu, any triad in the spiritual tradition is going into a primary triad like this, where there's kind of like 3 forces. There's like the positive force, the negative force, and the neutral force, or the affirming force, and the receiving force, and the reconciling force. So they say that everything is made up of these 3 forces. And then the 3 forces come together in 6 ways. So if you have ABC, like the ABC, ACB, BAC, BCA, CAB, and CAB. So there's only 6 ways these 3 can come together. So the Enneagram encompasses, at a very base foundation, a great place to map information on top of. And Gurdjieff's main student, one of them was John Bennett, and he wrote a book called The Enneagram. And he was I think the first guy to map business processes on the Enneagram. Most people know the Enneagram as a personality profile, and it looks at it from the individual level. This is very different, not that well known. And so what I was looking is, okay, what are universal models of language, and then what are universal structures? And so you put them together to then organize your mind, so that then you're going to be in alignment with universal law. That is some of the reasoning. So does everybody have this right now?
I'm going to redraw it because I screwed up.
It helps if you draw the 9, 6, and the 3 first, and then do the other numbers in between. That makes it a bit easier.
Yeah, I think my problem was the distribution of the 9 points. It was wacky.
Yeah, you got to kind of even them out a bit. Okay, so I'm going to give you words to write on here, and we're about to put a time structure. The main time structure of the INflow Matrix are 9 time cycles. Okay, so does everyone have this ready? Except maybe Daniil? Okay. How you doing, Daniil?
Keep going, I'll catch up.
Okay, so number 1, write lifetime cycle. At number 2, write yearly cycle. At number 3, write lunar cycle. At number 4, write daily cycle. At number 5, write seasonal cycle. And at number 6, write hourly cycle. And at number 7, write minute cycle. And at number 8, write present moment. And at number 9, write timelessness. Now, if you look at it, there's something that's a bit odd in terms of the sequencing, and that's that.
Sorry, what was the last one, Elijah?
The last one is timelessness. So there's a number of things that are a little strange about this, I guess. And the first one is that the seasonal is in between. It's not sequential right here. It would normally fit between yearly and lunar, but you have the year, you have your lifetime, your year, your lunar, and your day. And that's your like long-term planning. And then you have on the other side of seasonal, your hour, your minute, present moment, and timelessness. And so those two are 4, and then the midpoint is seasons, because seasons change everything. The winter, summer, spring, and fall are very different from one another. Okay? And there's a difference between the present moment and timelessness. The present moment is kind of like us now, doing your basic stuff, but timelessness is sort of present moment, but now you're raising the frequency, you're escaping time, and you're going up to higher states of consciousness. So at timelessness is where you start to look at levels of consciousness. And you can look at the power versus force. I don't know if you know the enlightenment scale there, or the chakras. Anything that has levels of consciousness is where timelessness goes. So to my knowledge, this is the first model that I've seen that puts together cycles of time and levels of consciousness in one model. And that's what the mind needs to start to frame how to put together all these different things, because I think you asked about integral studies with Ken Wilber. That has levels of consciousness in it. So you could take Ken Wilber's model, integral theory, and pop it right onto timelessness. So now get 10 pieces of paper, cut them up, and have like 10 pieces of paper that you can write 10 words on. We've got 2 minutes left, so I'm going to stop it here and then re-invite you back in, okay? And we'll start over in part 2, okay?